Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with the next update for my Pan Those Eyeshadows. I'm very excited to share with you the 4 shadows that I've been working on in this project. This project was created by Alexi, as you all probably know by now. She doesn't make YouTube videos anymore, but it has taken off hugely in the panning community and everyone loves this project, me included. So yeah, I'm going to share with you today how I'm doing with my project. This year I'm working on 4 eyeshadows at any point in time. And I'm working off of Laney's prompts. So Makeup by Laney, I will have her channel link down below because she has created like a prompts list, which I'm using this year to randomize some prompts for my shadows. So yeah, I work on 4 shadows, and with those 4 shadows, I have to use them 15 times or hit pan on them in order to roll them out. And that's kind of my main rules. I always have to have 1 matte in the project at any point in time. I think that's mainly it. So before I jump into the update itself, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So the first eyeshadow that I've been working on comes from the Going Coconuts palette from Colourpop. I roll the shade in here in for a transition shade. And the shade I decided to go with is Colada. So this is what it's been looking like throughout the months it's been in. It's been in for 3 months now. So after the introduction, it had a little bit of use, but not too much. And I used it 5 times in the first update. After that, in the second update, I unfortunately didn't use it at all. So I will have the same kind of footage going because, again, there's no difference. I didn't use it at all in the second month. So I had 5 uses before this update. So this is where I am with this eyeshadow today, and you can probably hopefully see a little bit of a dip, but it's not very significant. This one is moving very slowly, but that is where I am today, and I'm happy to say that I was able to reach for it 10 additional times for a total of 15. So yes, that is the shadow right here. I've been using it as a single, so that's why I have it like this, but I'm going to put it back into the palette after this video. But you can see right there, hopefully a little bit of a dip, but honestly not much. I've been going for much lighter makeup looks recently. Obviously not today. I went for quite a bold look today, but I love this look and I'm just playing with makeup. But overall, in my everyday life, I've been going for quite light looks, which means that I use my eyeshadows much more lightly now than I used to. And I think that's kind of why I don't have more of a usage on this, because it is a really easy eyeshadow to use, and I use it 15 times, but it is a hard pressed shadow, and I also don't use as much of it as I used to. So yeah, this one will be rolling out after 15 uses, and I'm glad I have that rule in, because again, this one would have taken a long time to pan on. So again, pleased with that, and this one is rolling out. The second eyeshadow that I've been working on comes from the Pastel Roses, and this one rolled in 2 months ago, and it rolled in for the prompt an eyeshadow starting with N. The shadow I decided to go with is Nectarine. It looks like this. So at the first update, this is what it looked like. It had a little bit of use, but not too much. I used it a little bit. I love this eyeshadow, but not given it enough love. After the first update, I used this one 4 additional times, and this is what it looked like at that point. So you can see a little bit of a dip going, and that is where I was at the last update. Since then, I have used this one 3 additional times, and this is where this one is today. So you can see there in the center that I was able to pan on the shadow. It's not the biggest pan, but I'm sure I can expand this one quite quickly. I just haven't got around to doing that yet, but it took me a total of 7 uses to pan on it, and that is where this shadow is today. So we have another rollout, and this one does have pan on it, which I'm really happy with. You can see the progress right there. You can see the dip and the pan. Very exciting. I love this eyeshadow. It was beautiful to work on. It worked really nicely with my palette. It could be built up or sheared out, and it was just the most beautiful kind of lid shade. It's a very strong kind of multi-chrome as well. I don't know, maybe you can pick up a little bit of the, like you can definitely see the green shift on camera. It's even more vibrant in real life. Then it has this orange base, and then like an orange shift, like a pink shift too. So it's a green to pink shift with an orange base. And it's absolutely stunning. I really loved wearing this one and playing around with it. And it was very easy to incorporate into my everyday looks. So enjoy the shadow, but it will now be rolling out. The last 2 shadows that I have are both rolled in last month. And we're going to start with the one that comes from a palette. And that is one from my Rose Quartz palette from Huda Beauty. I rolled this shadow in for an eyeshadow starting with J, another letter prompt. And I rolled in the shadow Joy. So this is what Joy looked like at the introduction. I had a couple uses on it when I've done like no pan left behind on this palette, when I played around with this palette, like, you know, just casually, as well as for my big fat eyeshadow project this year. So I maybe think I had like 3 uses on it before, 4 maybe. Hard to estimate because I hadn't tracked it before, but around 3-4 I would assume. So that is where I was at the last update, and this is where I am with this eyeshadow today. Again, as you can see, I was able to pan on the shadow, which I'm really pleased with. It took me 5 uses to pan on this one, so not too much, but it was a very it was more of a subtle shadow, so it needed more building up, and I think that's why I hit pan on it relatively fast. So yet again, we have another pan, and that is my second pan now in this palette, which is really exciting. I really love the shadow. It was more of again a subtle kind of satiny shade, but it was like a pink with a gold shift, and it worked really nicely with a lot of other shades. And it actually paired really nicely with the next shade I'm going to show you, if I wanted to like give this one a little bit more oomph. But on its own, it's kind of very nice subtle shade, and even though it is like a brighter kind of pink there in the corner, since it is more of a satin shade, it just gave a really like skin-like texture, I guess. And it was very wearable, very kind of effortless. If I wanted to go for minimal lip makeup, I could throw this one on with a really light kind of transition shade, and I was good to go. So I did enjoy this eyeshadow a lot, but I'm also happy that it's rolling out, and I was expecting this one to kind of roll out relatively fast, so I'm glad that I was able to hit my goal on this one. And this is also the most recent eyeshadow that I hit my goal on, so very exciting there. But again, this one will be rolling out. Then the final eyeshadow that I have is another letter prompt. I rolled in an eyeshadow starting with R, and I decided to go with this eyeshadow right here that comes from Cliona, and this is the shade Renaissance. This is one of their pearlescent multichromes, and it's a beautiful kind of pink to gold shifty shade with a bit of a peach in it, and almost like green at a very harsh angle. It's a really pretty shadow, but this is what it looked like I said, when I rolled it in. And since then I have reached for this one 4 times, and this is where this one is today. So after 4 uses, you can see a little bit of movement on it, but I don't think too much. I can definitely see its use, and the Cliona imprint is definitely gone. But yeah, I definitely think this is going to be a 15 user one and not pan. But I do have 11 more uses to go, so we'll see when I get further into the project. But for now, this one is standing at 4 uses. So yeah, that is what this eyeshadow looks like, and this one is an absolutely beautiful shade. And I just realized I've forgotten to swatch as per normal. I feel like that's the standard thing to do, at least for me in these updates. I always forget to swatch the shadows up, but I will do that in a second. But it's an absolutely stunning shade. It's really easy for me to use. I love pinks, and this is just a really pretty one. But this one will be staying in the project. It's the only one out of my 4 that will be staying in, but I don't mind at all, because again, this is an easy one for me to reach for, and I'm excited to see how this one is going to work with my new color story. So this one is staying in, but let me swatch out the color story and show you everything before I roll in my new prompts. This right here was my previous color stories. We have Colada, Nectarine, Joy, and Renaissance. So that is my color story prior. And right now, Renaissance is the only shadow staying in, so that is the start for my new color story. But let's move on to the most exciting part of the video, at least for me, because I get to see what my new eyeshadows that I'm going to work on is going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and get my Tiny Decisions app. We're going to roll 3 prompts, and I'm going to pick out my shadows so that we get that out. So we have my wheel right here, and I'm just going to go ahead and randomize my first prompt. See what I get. Food theme reference. Okay. Not sure what I'm going to get for that, but it's not a letter prompt, which is exciting because that's usually what I get most often. So let's see what the next prompt is going to be. That's going to be my second shadow rolling in. Green shadow matte. Okay, so at least that's a matte, because like I said, we need to have at least one matte, and currently we only have a shimmer, so we need one matte. So that could be, well, that's going to be my matte. So the rest could be shimmers if I want, but let's see what the third prompt is going to be. Reminds you of fall. So I'm back, and I have chosen my 3 new shades. My camera cut off before, but I did randomize all my shades so you can see them. But I have now gone off camera and I've chosen them. And this is going to be my new color story right there. So a little sneak preview right there compared to my old one. But let me talk you through the shades. So I started off with food themed product, and that was actually really difficult for me. I don't really have many food themed palettes or anything like that. So I was trying to like look through. I knew that I had some like Cliona singles that I could have pulled out, like Royal Pear or something like that. But I wanted to stick to something else, because I feel like I have a tendency to just roll in my clear eyeshadows, and I know that I won't be able to hit pan on them. I just use them 15 uses, so I wanted to roll in something from a palette this time around. So I was looking through and I just could not find something, and then I just clicked for me, because it's a palette that I recently worked on in my Big Fat Eyeshadow project, and I wasn't sure if I was able, if I was ready to pan on this one yet, but I think I am. I think I feel like it's fine hitting pan on this palette because I have played around with it already, and it's this one right here. This is the Hey Reindeer palette from Odin's Eye. So in here, there's actually a couple food themed names. There's like eggnog, Christmas ham, cider, candy canes. Yeah, those are like the main food themed names. I guess some of them are like drinks, but anyway. However, out of those ones, the one that I decided to go with, which because I feel like it's going to go really nicely with something else in this color story, but also I know that it's going to be really easy to pan on for me, is the shade Christmas Ham right here. It's an iridescent red to like gold shade. I'm looking at my swatch, but that is the shade right here. Of course, I'm going to take some footage of it for next update, but that is the shade. And just to show you as well, that is the swatch. It's a bit more kind of cool toned pink than this one. It's definitely like more, yeah, cool toned pink, whereas this one is more like a peachy pink, but I feel like I can still wear those two together. So I'm going to roll this one in for my food themed item. Then we have the two prompts that I rolled next, which was green matte, as well as reminds you of fall or autumn. And I decided to roll in two shades from the same palette. So the palette that I decided to go with is this palette right here, which is actually another Odin's Eye palette I just realized, which is a bit funny. But I need to get more use out of my Odin's Eye palettes. So this is the Red Dragon palette in collaboration with Judy, and I already have one pan in this palette since before. This is always so awkward to hold. I'm just going to hold it this way. So I'll pan on this shade here, which I actually pan on in Pan Those Eyeshadows last year, I believe. So for this palette, I have started to roll in this shade here, Jade, for the green matte. So that is going to be the first shade, and that is the green matte right there. It's a really, really pretty green. This is like my favorite type of green. I really love these like warm tone greens, and I think I'm going to be able to incorporate that into the more neutral looks as well. So that is that shade. Then for reminds you of fall, I decided to go with one of the shimmers in this palette, and a lot of them could fall into, or actually a lot of the shades in here could fall into that category. But I was debating between this shade here or this shade here, but I did decide to go with Amber right there, because this is like the perfect warm orangey bronze, with like, it has like a few different sparkles in it, but it's like a really warm amber shade, and I think that is very much autumnal for me. These are the type of shades that I love wearing in autumn. It's just like the warm rusty kind of shades, so I thought that would be perfect to roll in. And that means that we have our new color story right here. We have one shade staying in, and these are my 3 new shades. I'm really excited to play around with these. I think it's going to be quite fun. It's very different from my old color story, and I think I should be able to even have some goals hit next month, even though I'm kind of doing almost a refresh this month. Obviously I have one shade rolling in, but most of my shades are being refreshed. I think I should still be able to have some rolling out next month. I think Christmas Ham is going to be very, very easy to pan on. It's a bit more of a crumbly shade, and I can use it on my inner corners like every day if I need to. So I think that should be fine. Then I don't know about this formula for Amber. It is a shimmer, so sometimes that's easier to pan on, but we just have to see. I don't think the green matte I'm going to have out next month. That's probably going to take a bit longer. And then I don't know if I can reach for Renaissance 11 more times either, but we're just going to have to see. But I do think I should be able to have hopefully at least 1 or 2 rollouts next month. But with all of that being said, you guys, that's going to be it for my Pan Those Eyeshadows update. I was really excited to share this one with you because I knew this was going to be quite an exciting one. And yeah, I'm excited to read my new color story. I feel like I'm refreshed. I feel like I'm rejuvenated. I feel like I want to work on these shadows again. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with it. And these are all shadows that are right up my alley. So very, very excited with them. So make sure to check out Laney, who's linked down below again. All of the prompts were credited to her. She made that prompt list and I love it. I love doing Pan Those Eyeshadows this way. So thank you again, Laney, for creating those. Also, make sure to check out my previous year's playlists, which are linked down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It really does help me out and I love seeing the thumbs up on my videos. So please go and do that if you want. Also, drop me a comment if you want to share how you're doing in your project. I also love hearing from you guys. I've been trying to be better at responding to my comments too. I'm trying to stick on top of it. I'm trying to respond to my comments like from now on. Don't quote me with that. I go very up and down. I get busy. I just get distracted. But I'm trying to be better. So drop me a comment and I would love to respond to you. And I hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are. And I will catch you in my next one. Bye, guys.